I'll then move on to Vinhome's key operational and financial highlights, and also give you a view on our outlook for 2026, and then we'll open the floor for your questions. Okay. Right, so just the key highlights. Our economy has continued to demonstrate resilience. Our GDP expanded by 8.02%, significantly above global averages, while inflation remained well contained at 3.31%. So the combination of growth and stability reflects the disciplined policy executions and provides a solid macro foundation heading to 2026 Vietnam. Against this backdrop, Vinhomes has delivered a very strong performance. We've launched 5 projects this year and have commenced developments of 9 other projects. On the financial side, our contracted sales reached 205.3 trillion Vietnam dong, doubling year on year and exceeding the higher end of our guidance figures. This is also the highest level in our company's history. Our unbilled revenue increased to 186.4 trillion, again providing a solid base for earning visibility into 2026 and beyond. From a financial perspective, adjusted revenue and profit after tax reached 183.9 trillion and 42.1 trillion Vietnam dong, respectively. Again, both of these figures have exceeded the targets approved by our shareholders at the beginning of the year, recording year-on-year growth of over 30% and 20%, respectively. Our revenue and cash inflows were healthy and supported by project handovers and contracted sales being recorded during the year. So our overall performance continues to experience improvement across all operating metrics. Sales momentum remains strong throughout the year. New project launches nearly double contracted sales and unbilled revenue year on year. Execution remains a key differentiator for Vinhomes, given the cyclical nature of real estate. Our revenue recognition concentrated in the fourth quarter of this year, driven by unit handovers. In quarter 4, 2025, revenue reached approximately 103 trillion Vietnam dong, up 218% year on year, allowing us to close the year well ahead of our target. Looking ahead, projects such as Wonder City, Green City, Golden City, and Green Paradise are all in active sales mode and development phases and are expected to deliver meaningful revenue and earnings from 2026 onwards. All right, so looking at our pre-sales, we have continued to gain momentum. We've launched 4 new mega projects during the year, plus 1 social housing project, which collectively underpin record contracted sales and further consolidated our market leadership. Demand for our properties have remained strong and well diversified. Projects such as Green Paradise has attracted substantial interest from both bulk sales buyers and retail buyers, whereas Wonder City, Green City, and Golden City have also achieved very healthy take-up shortly after launch, appealing to customers across the regions and price segments. Just want to highlight the diversification of our product mix. This has supported our cash flow and the position of Vinhomes as a well-diversified property developer. All right, I'd like to move on to the macro update. So the country has remained in growth mode. The government has reaffirmed its ambition to target 10% GDP growth for 2026, supported by accelerated public investments, targeted fiscal measures, and stable credit market. At the same time, FDI continues to rise. FDI disbursement total 27.6 billion US dollars. This is the highest level in 5 years. The structural reforms have continued to translate to positivity in the market with Resolution 68 and key milestones such as nominal GDP reaching 514 billion Vietnam dong, making Vietnam becoming the 32nd largest economy globally. On the finance market front, obviously the FTSE's upgrade of Vietnam to secondary emerging market has also delivered a lot of optimism in the market. So taken all together, these developments reinforce Vietnam's position as one of Asia's most compelling long-term investments destinations. So against the backdrop of the positivity in the macro environment, property markets have continued to perform well. Hanoi demonstrates steady and well-supported price growth and also supply are in a healthy level as well. So in 2025, 36,000 units were launched with 34,700 units sold. This is a very strong take-up rates in Hanoi. Landed housing supply remain constrained, while secondary prices have increased by around 15% year on year. And all of this are being supported by the upcoming infrastructure upgrades, including the Golden Underpass, Thượng Cát Bridge, the groundbreaking of Metro Line number 5, and the Red River Scenic Boulevard, all mega projects that are expected to drive further growth in the property markets in Hanoi. Right, so moving on to Ho Chi Minh City. So the market is clearly have recovered, supported by infrastructure investments as well as the return of supply unlocked. So in 2025, Greater Ho Chi Minh condominium supply exceeded 24,400 units, up 55% year on year, whilst the units sold increased by approximately 80%, again signaling improving liquidity. Primary prices have increased by 21% in the old Ho Chi Minh City and around 6% in the new Ho Chi Minh City precinct. Landed housing supply has continued to improve, with prices increasing by 17% year on year. Again, across both Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi have continued to benefit from improving connectivity and infrastructure investments, as well as resilient end user activity as well. And being the biggest player in both Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, Vinhomes is in well positioned to benefit from these trends. All right, so moving on to business updates of our operations. So in 2025, Vinhomes has built on the strength we had in the previous year. So on the back of the growth cycle of the property market, we have taken the opportunity to launch 5 projects, 4 of which are mega projects, including Vinhomes Wonder City in Hanoi, Vinhomes Golden City in Haiphong, Vinhomes Green City in Tây Ninh and Green Paradise in Ho Chi Minh City, as well as a social housing projects in Tràng Cát, Hải Phòng. In addition to that, we have also initiated the construction activity across other projects, including Vinhomes Global Gates Hạ Long in Quảng Ninh, Vinhomes Hải Vân Bay in Đà Nẵng, Cam Ranh in Khánh Hòa, Phước Vĩnh Tây in Tây Ninh, among other projects as well. So again, this is just to highlight our execution capabilities and also the diversification of projects that we have across Vietnam. So following the launches, our execution is also very strong. So construction across our townships has progressed rapidly, underscoring our disciplined execution and implementation capabilities. Projects such as Green City and Golden City have achieved very strong milestones. We've completed the infrastructure as well as the amenities for residents already. Green City, the houses already up and coming, whereas Green Paradise, we have completed the sea reclamation and start working on the internal infrastructure for our houses. All right, so we continue to strategize on destinational marketing strategy. So Vinhome has been increasingly, our projects have increasingly becoming platforms for landmark cultural and entertainment events, reinforcing vibrancy, footfall, and long-term placemaking value. At Ocean City, we successfully host large-scale international events, including the G-Dragons 2025 World Tour and the Ocean Countdown 2026 celebration, each attracting over 100,000 visitors. These events demonstrate our capacity to host global standard entertainment events while driving strong footfall and commercial activities for our projects. Meanwhile, at Royal Island, we held events such as the K-Food Festival, the Light Up Dream Music Night, that recorded strong public participation. So again, all of these initiatives have highlighted how Vinhomes are not only a property developer, but we're also a community builder and placemakers as well. So in terms of market share, we continue to hold our leadership across all market segments in Vietnam. So in the condominium market, we hold 25% market share and over 38% and 33% in the mid-end and high-end segments. We continue to dominate the landed property segment with 42% market share. Again, all of these figures have reaffirmed our position, our leadership and long-term growth momentum both in Vietnam and also regionally as well. All right, so in the fourth quarter, we have also garnered many awards and accolades, such as the Developer of the Year, Southeast Asia 2025, awarded by Dot Property Southeast Asia Awards, as the first and only Vietnamese developer to receive this regional recognition. This award recognizes our execution and also the ESG initiatives that we have across our board as well. Our ESG is embedded across our full chain, from planning to construction to operations to community engagements as well. Activities such as the Green Saturday that has attracted thousands of residents engaging in sustainable activities, including cleanups, tree planting, waste sorting, and environmental awareness programs. Internally, we continue to enhance our green culture and ESG training in the fourth quarter, reinforcing our responsible practices relating to green consumption, biodiversity, and sustainable daily operations. All right, in the next sections, I'm just gonna highlight some of the key financial for Vinhomes. So in 2025, adjusted property sales revenue was 138.1 trillion Vietnam dong, which is equivalent to 5.3 billion US dollars across our business as well as the BCC projects as well. PATMI was 41.1 trillion Vietnam dong, or equivalent to 1.58 billion US dollars, in line with the delivery schedule we set out at the start of the year. Indeed, we have exceeded both of these targets. Right, so looking at our performance this year versus last year, so reported revenue for 25 was 5.93 billion US dollars, or 154.1 trillion, largely coming from the sales and deliveries and various projects, including Ocean Park 2 and 3, as well as Vinhomes Green Paradise, among others, such as Golden City, Wonder City, to name just a few. All right, so this slide is a project-by-project reconciliation detailing our contribution from BCC projects in 2025. We have been shared 8.7 trillion Vietnam dong from BCC projects, largely coming from Royal Island, which is under a BCC contract with the group. Looking at the performance overview, in 25, profit after tax was 42.1 trillion, or 1.62 billion US dollars, with gross margins continue to stabilize, and all the CAGR with the CAGR of 17% for the past 5 years for our revenue. All right, so looking at our balance sheets, our financial position remains well and strong and healthy, so supported by the ramping up of our new development cycle. So as of December 31st, total assets reached 786.4 trillion Vietnam dong, and total equity was 247.9 trillion Vietnam dong, increasing at 39% and 12% respectively year on year. The increase in inventory mainly reflect the acceleration of development at the newly launched and upcoming large-scale projects. So in addition, our cash and short-term investments increased to 52.2 trillion Vietnam dong, up 52%, demonstrating healthy liquidity and strong operating cash inflows. So overall, the balance sheets remains adequate, liquid, and positioned to support the next phase of growth, whilst maintaining financial disciplines and resilience. So looking at the credit metrics, so at the end of the fourth quarter, our debt to equity was 37.9%. Our debt to asset ratio was 18.6%, well positioned to meet our financial obligations and a healthy balance sheets over the long term. Looking ahead, we plan to fund our project developments primarily through pre-sales proceeds, which help to support growth while maintaining an efficient leverage profile. So looking at our debt profile, in 2025, we successfully mobilized 30.7 trillion Vietnam dong of corporate bonds, demonstrating our continued ability and access to capital and secure funding for project developments. Our debt portfolio remains predominantly Vietnam dong dominated. So 90% of our debt is in Vietnam dong, minimizing FX risk. As of 25, bank borrowings make up the majority of our debt, while domestic bonds accounting for 61% of total obligations, ensuring diversified funding sources. We've also extended our average debt maturity from 2.2 years in the last quarter to 2.6 years by the end of this year, and being able to reduce our average cost of debt from 10.5% to 10.1%, supported by longer tenor facility and more favorable interest rates. So altogether, the strong liquidity, diversified funding, and disciplined debt management has ensured us to capture future growth and maintain our financial health. All right, so looking ahead, so I would say 2026 is going to be a year of clarity for Vinhomes. So we have feasible, sustainable growth with our top line growth being driven by ongoing projects, including the recognition of revenue across Ocean Park 2 and 3, Green Paradise, Wonder City, Golden City, Green City, underpinned by a record unbuilt sales backlog of 186.4 trillion Vietnam dong, or $7.17 billion at the end of 2025. So this backlog of unbuilt revenue will ensure visibility of our revenue over the next 18 months. Pre-sales growth is expected to be derived from the launches of new projects expected in various locations and provinces in Vietnam, including Ho Chi Minh City, Da Nang, Quảng Ninh, alongside the ongoing active sales across existing developments that are in sales mode, supported by both retail and bulk sales strategy. Looking at our product strategy, we continue to focus on owner-occupier demand across our large-scale integrated townships under ESG++ standards, prioritizing green, smart, sustainable developments while advancing our transit-oriented development projects and social housing projects as well in rapidly urbanizing well-connected areas to support population decentralization and new economic hubs. All of this is expected to be supported by favorable macro tailwinds as the country continue to go into 2026 with a very strong footprint with GDP growth targets of above 10%. Stable credit conditions and well-managed inflation. In addition to that, continued reforms and infrastructure rollout is expected to benefit Vietnam's real estate sector, and companies with strong balance sheets, high-quality land banks, and proven execution capabilities are expected to benefit from all of these improvements in the macro environments as well as the real estate markets. So on that note, I'd like to conclude my first part of the presentation today, and I'll give back to Ngan to start with the Q&A session. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Alex. We'll now open the floor for the questions. If you're joining from a desktop, please submit your questions via the chat window to IR Vinhomes. If you're dialing in from a mobile device, you can also send your questions through the participant tab list to IR Vinhomes. We'll do our best to address as many questions as time allows.
All right, thank you everyone for your questions. So we've got some questions coming in. So we've got questions from HSC. How do you how do you assess the impact of State Bank of Vietnam's tightening credit policy towards the real estate sector on Vinhomes? And could you also share what percentage of Vinhomes home buyers typically use mortgage financing? Given the current high mortgage lending rates, do you think real estate sales will be significantly affected or only moderately impacted? Right, so the State Bank of Vietnam orientation for real estate credits is selective allocation rather than tightening, prioritizing projects with very clear legal and also strong liquidity, and those that are meeting real end user demand. So this approach creates advantages for large scale developers such as Vinhomes with products that are suitable for home buyers and owner occupiers. So I guess from a personal point of view, credit growth targets will be remained flexible and could be adjusted in line with the macro conditions. I guess the key figure to watch is inflation. So as long as inflation remains well within expectations of below 4%, the State Bank would have some room to move around. So if you recall, 2025 credit growth target was 15%, but then the actual growth was 19% because inflation has continued to be well maintained. So I guess on the demand side, we can say that our product mix is largely focused on end user demand, and our urban developments are in areas with high urbanization rates, with pricing and payment policies that are very flexible for owner occupiers. So in addition, our sales network and flexible sales policies with payment deferments, interest rate support, and very strong relationship with the banks would have sustained product absorption. All right. So although yes, the interest rates may be higher compared to last year, but we have continued to proactively work with banks to make financing arrangements for our customers, and the banks are really putting an emphasis on not only the credit worthiness of the home buyers, but also the reputation and the quality of products of the properties and the projects as well. So in that regards, Vinhomes would be in a position to benefit from the current credit position. All right, next question. Okay. All right, so next question. So what percentage ownership does Vinhomes have in the Olympic projects and the Cam Lâm projects? So I guess for these projects, what we can report on is for the Cam Lâm projects, our effective interest is expected to be up to 100% as we plan to acquire the economic benefits from the other partners in our joint venture. Regarding the Olympic projects, at the moment, we are unable to disclose any further information because the projects remains confidential in confidence at the moment, and we'll be very happy to report further information to our investors as more information is available to the public. Thank you. All right, I've got another question from HSC. In 2026, which new projects will Vinhomes be open for sale? What is the expected sales value, and which project will contribute the most? So I guess 2026, as you could see in the appendix that we have in our một cái appendix mình có show cho nhà đầu tư không ta? Có đúng không? Right, let me show. Ủa, cái này nó không phải. Okay. So in 2026, we have a number of projects that we plan to launch, and we have many projects that are ready to launch in 2026. However, we'll have to consider market conditions by 2026 and launch the projects accordingly. But I can say that we have projects in various locations in Vietnam that are legally ready for launch, including projects in Hanoi, in Quảng Ninh, in Da Nang, as well as in Ho Chi Minh City as well. And we'll have a very close look at market conditions before we decide to launch any any of which projects in those locations. All right, so I've got another question from SSI. So why does CG Cần Giờ delay retail sales to this year? What is the support or the policies that we have in the interest rate rising environment? So no, we have not changed our plan. So the retail sales of Cần Giờ has been opened in the fourth quarter of 2025. So all of the retail sales have continued to follow our plans. However, we would decide on which section of the Cần Giờ projects to launch. So in the last quarter of 2025, we decided to launch the section B, which is the section by our bulk sales partners, and we have received very strong retail sales in that section as well. So looking forward in 2026, we'll continue to roll out the retail sales for both our products and our bulk sale partners' retail products as well. So in terms of support and policies for our customers, we continue to have very flexible payment plans for customers to choose from deferred payments of 18 to 24, 30, 36 month payments, installments, as well as we have agreements with the banks to fix interest rates for our customers during that period as well. So there are many supports and flexible sales plans and policies for customers in the current environment. All right, so I've got a question from Michael. How much bulk sales were booked in quarter four and the whole of 2025? Of the 186.4 trillion unbilled sales, what is the split between retail and bulk sales? So the bulk sales amount was 32.3 trillion Vietnam dong in quarter four and 116.7 trillion Vietnam dong for the financial year 2025. Of the total 186.4 trillion unbilled sales as of the end of 2025, 46% bulk sales and 54% retail. I've got another question from Minh Nguyen Mure. Could you please clarify the deposit for investments in the balance sheets detailed to projects? Does the increase of interest rates impact on the sales of Vinhomes in 2026? So the deposit for investments in the balance sheets are for the acquisition of economic interest for the upcoming projects that we acquire from the joint venture partners for the projects that we have, particularly in Cam Lam and Phước Vĩnh Tây. So these are the projects that we have decided to acquire up to 100% of economic interest in these projects in order to receive the full cash collections and the full economic benefits from these projects going forward. So talking about interest rates, so the answer is simple, no, because Vinhomes, number one is we have a diversified land bank and product mix, and the majority of our products is focusing on long-term home buyers, owner-occupiers, which are less impacted by interest rises. However, even if you look at the history, Vinhomes have gone through many interest rates cycles, and we have continued to perform and dominate the market regardless of what cycle that the market is because of the strong capabilities and also the right product mix that we have. Now we have a question from Terence. Outlook on credit availability for real estate and mortgages in 2026, timeline and confidence for retail launches of Vinhomes Green Paradise, expectation of recognition of unbuilt sales for FY26, which other projects could launch this year? So I guess again on credit availability, so the SPV guide line for credit growth is 16%. So remember that this is a 16% on top of the 19% growth last year. So there's ample room for growth for the economy as well as the real estate market. Having said that, if inflation remains contained, so there's room for even further growth. However, Vinhomes have continued to benefit from the stability in the macro environments, and our projects have continued to focus on the middle market, which is less impacted by credit availability. So as mentioned earlier, so Cần Giờ was open for retail sales in the fourth quarter of 2025, and we did, and we would continue to launch further retail sales in the first and the second quarter of 2026 as planned. So unbuilt sales at the end of 2025 will be partly recognized in 2026, including Wonder Park, Ocean Park June 3, Green City, Golden City, and Royal City as well. Projects to be launched in 2026 I've answered in the previous question. However, just to reiterate that we have projects that are ready to be launched in various locations, including Ho Chi Minh City, Da Nang, Quảng Ninh, and in other markets as well. All right, so I've got a question from Huỳnh Phan. Congratulations on your strong 25 results. Could you share your view on the market's ability to absorb new supply next year, particularly in the context of SPV tighter control over credit growth for real estate lending by commercial banks? Again, as I said, the position of the SPV has not changed at all. So there's always been sort of adequate control on lending growth, and that's the job of the SPV, and we've seen it last year, the year before, and the year before that as well. And for us, Vinhomes is agnostic, and we have continued to perform well in various conditions in previous cycle where interest rate were high. We have also continued to adjust our product mix to fit the right customers, and the overall demand in the market has remained strong. So every year, Vietnam will continue to need up to 500,000 new houses for the growth of household formation in Vietnam. However, on the supply side, supply has remained much lower compared to the demand. So the current supply in the market is only satisfying up to 20% of the demand. So we are not in any worry for demand this year and next year as well. All right, so I've got a question from Tam Nguyen. Could you provide more color on the quarter-on-quarter decline in 25, fourth quarter 25 pre-sales in terms of both units sold and contracted value? So the decline in the quarter-over-quarter pre-sales is just because of the recognition of transactions in the fourth quarter were lower than in the third quarter. So again, comparing quarter to quarter, sort of bulk sales is not really reasonable or appropriate for property developers because bulk sales is very lumpy and it could have significant changes quarter over quarter. However, you should be looking at year over year changes, which show very strong increase in our pre-sales year over year. All right, so I've got another question back from Huỳnh Phang. Could you please share which projects are likely to contribute to bulk sales in 26? How significant these transactions could be in the overall sales mix? Will Vinhomes participate in the developments of Vingroups? New projects, Vinhomes Olympic in Hanoi and the Mekong Resort Township, and if so, how will the economic interest be allocated? So bulk sales continue to be an important sales channel for us. So, as you can see in our previous projects, pretty much in all our mega cities and mega projects, we would have up to 30 to 50% of our pre-sales being reserved for bulk sale transactions. So there are many benefits of having bulk sales partners. So number one is to fasten up the cash collection because the cash collection for bulk sale transactions are typically less than 1 year, which is very beneficial for our cash flow. And number two is we also have better margins for bulk sales. And number three is to de-risk our developments and also diversify our product offerings as well. So talking about Vingroup's project, so I guess what we can say is obviously Vinhomes continue to be an integral part of Vingroup and also an important partner of Vingroup in all of the projects that Vingroup is going to develop as well. So that is not going to change, and any projects that under Vingroup, obviously Vinhomes would definitely be an important partner of Vingroup and vice versa as well. I've got a question from Michael. Mortgage rates have risen 5 to 8 percentage points since quarter 2 and 3, which could dampen demand and buyer sentiment. How does that change your unit launch pipelines in 2026? So again, I've answered this question above. However, what we can say is that we have already factored in many of the different scenarios, not only interest rates, but also changes in market demands in our launch pipelines already for 2026. So whatever happens, we already have a solution and a strategy to tackle all of this. And having the benefits of being a master planned community, a master plan developer, we can choose to launch our projects over multiple phases. We can choose to launch different product mixes, different product types. We can choose to launch through various channels, including bulk sales channels as well as retail channels as well. So again, we have many different strategies, diversification of products, diversification of locations to overcome any challenges that the market presents in 2026. All right. So, what is the impact of? I've got a question from Yung, Techcombank Security. What is the impact of increased interest rate in recent months? We see that some bank has already raised interest rate for buying it real estate to 14%. What solution Vinhomes made to support these customers to buy Vinhomes house planned pre-sales in 2026? So I guess again, if any customers that are now facing 14% interest rates, you can definitely come to buy Vinhomes product because we have very favorable interest rates that we have agreed with the bank, which is not going to be that high, and the bank's definitely going to work with us and have already worked with us to offer our home borrowers very supportive, favorable interest rate packages for home buyers across Vinhomes projects as well. So with that regards, there's a lot of benefits of buying Vinhomes products at the moment because we have very favorable interest rates that we have strike the partnership with the bank for our customers. All right, so I've got a question from Tam Wing. Could you provide details on the fourth quarter 25 pre-sales at Vinhomes Green City Long An and your assessment of pre-sales momentum at these projects, as well as other second-tier provincial projects? So the pre-sales for these projects in the fourth quarter of 25 was 2.6 thousand billion Vietnam dong, and Vinhomes Green City has continued to have very strong momentum at the moment. And whilst it used to be Long An, but for us it is basically the adjacent or the expansion of Ho Chi Minh City. So a lot of our demand is coming from Ho Chi Minh City for this project. So we don't consider this project as a provincial project, but it's a very integral part of the greater Ho Chi Minh City as well. All right, so I've got a question from Tuấn Anh. Could you share pre-sales number in Cần Giờ Paradise previously? So Cần Giờ, the pre-sales up to the end of 2025 for Cần Giờ was 64.4 trillion Vietnam dong. All right, so I've got a question from Tuấn Lam. Who are customers on bulk sales in quarter four 2025? Favorable macro tailwinds. You mentioned improved macro capital access. Can you explain a bit more and share on your views on the impact of interest rate on to demand? If interest rate trends one of the challenges in your sales this year. So our bulk sales partners in quarter four 2025 are repeated customers, repeated bulk sale partners who have purchased with us before and who are our sub-developers in many of our projects across the country. So I guess yes, interest rate definitely is one of the criteria that our customers are looking at. However, it's not all. So we have continued to experience very strong demand across the markets. And I guess the key for our home buyers, again, number one is destination, location of the properties, the different benefits, the different payment schemes that we can provide to our customers, and also having said that, as I explained earlier, we have more our home buyers that we have agreed with the banks, and the banks continue to honor the agreements that we have with them, and our customers have continued to enjoy favorable terms on their interest buying products from Vinhomes. All right, so I've got a question from Thục Pan. Could you share Vinhomes' total planned development cost spending for 2026, including construction, land cost spending? What are the key funding channels? So we anticipate to spend approximately 150 to 200 trillion Vietnam dong, again, depending on the requirements of funding and progress of new projects. We'll primarily finance our projects using a combination of different channels, including bank loans, bond issuance, as well as customer proceeds as well. So I've got another question from Thục Tan. Can you please share preliminary guidance for 2026 NPAT and pre-sales? How much percentage of total backlog will be recognized in 2026? So as we speak, we have not disclosed the guidance for 2026 yet. We would be presenting our 2026 guidelines at the annual general shareholder meeting in April 2026. So I'll be very happy to present it to you once the information is becoming public. So the percentage of backlog will be recognized 2026. So as usual, so the backlog that we have is usually being recognized over the next 12 months, up to 18 months from the date of being entered into or recognized as backlog pre-sales. So I've got Kim An from VCBF. Can you disclose the number of units pre-sold in 2025 and breakdown of the number by project? So the number of pre-sold units in 2025 was 56,100 units, including both the retail and the adjusted bulk sales pre-sold units as well. And you can certainly look at the slides that we provided as well, which provides further information on this. All right, so I've got a question from Han Anastasio Vu. Following up the capital structure, will Vinhomes plan to increase borrowing this year? If so, how much? Thank you. So I guess, again, our capital plans and capital structure will be well managed. So the question of whether we would increase borrowing this year will be dependent on the demands of our capital, availability of credits going forward, as well as the borrowing costs as well. So we'll try to maintain a disciplined capital structure this year, that we can say. Right, so I've got a question from Đức Anh. How has borrowing cost evolved during 2025? What is your expectation for changes in borrowing costs for 2026? So the actual cost of borrowing for 2025 for us has decreased from 10.5% in 2024 to 10.1% in 2025. And looking forward, again, we remain cautious on the different conditions, different credit conditions, and borrowing for 2026. So I'm unable to share any forward-looking expectations regarding borrowing cost for 2026. However, as I said earlier, Vinhomes has always demonstrated a very resilient balance sheets and conservative financial ratios as it comes to leveraging. Okay. So on that note, conscious of time. So I'd like to conclude the Q&A session here. I know that you still have many questions that you like to send through. So I've got my staff members as well as the communication line open. So please feel free to send it through to our representative at ir.vinhomes.vn. I'll be very happy to answer further questions as well. So on that note, I'll hand it over to Ngang.
Thank you again, Alex, and thank you all for your thoughtful questions. As always, if you need any additional information or have follow-up queries, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at ir@vinhomes.vn. Before we conclude, just a brief reminder that Vingroup's earnings call will take place later today at 4 p.m. Vietnam time. In addition, Vinhomes will be participating in Vietnam Access Day 2026 on